Sziasztok, you're watching Budapest. It's all about living the high life in Hungary. I'm Margaret Sziget. And coming up in this edition of Budapest, Marathon Man. We talk to a long-term expatriate who tells us about a certain lifestyle change he's undergone. Oh yeah, so stay tuned. And welcome back, Budacasters. Coming up in this episode of Budapest, yes, here he is. It's Marathon Man, otherwise known as, tell me your name, kind sir.
Matthew Higginson.
Matthew Higginson.
Hi.
As I said, long-term expatriate and special guest star.
And training partner.
Dugo, training partner.
Dugo the Irish setter. On loan from a good friend.
Yes, and Dugo is shivering. Poor Dugo. So why don't we move as we're talking. And of course, I've thought a lot about Matthew since he, as I said, underwent this amazing lifestyle change. Matthew, you could say that you were, what, let's say 10 years ago or so, you were a bit of a barfly, weren't you?
That would be a fair description, yes. I enjoyed my nightlife.
Yeah.
Very much so, yes.
Well, you have any good Budapest nightlife memories?
Very few. Very few, but I'm pretty sure it was all good. It was all good fun.
Right. So, okay, the reason we're talking to you today, of course, is because you're going to run a marathon, and you've run several of marathons. When did your big lifestyle change happen?
Ooh.
I can't speak English. Happen.
Well, it's a while now. It's coming up for 7 years that I stopped drinking and living the high life.
Right.
And a couple of years into that, you suddenly realise there's an awful lot of hours in the day to fill if you don't drink or go out and hang around in bars and the rest of it. So my wife brought me running down here, and I was terrible. I made about 600-800 metres and thought like I was literally going to die. And that spurred me on, being the bloody minded person that I am. And fast forward maybe 8 or 9 months, and I was lining up to do the first marathon here in Budapest.
Wow.
And then it's just, since then, it's just something that gets into you and you can't stop it really. So I've done one a year, I did 2 last year, and this year we do the London Marathon, and that's for charity. Right. And in September I do the Berlin one as well. So 2 of the big world marathons this year.
Matthew has actually recently emerged on the social media world, and I think one method, it's a method to his madness, that he's trying to raise some money, as he said, for charity. Matthew, can you tell us how can you go about, or what's this whole benefit about?
The London Marathon is heavily oversubscribed every year. There's 40,000 places, and there's normally about 120,000 to 150,000 applicants. So the only way to guarantee that you can do it is either be one of the top 50 marathon runners in the world, or run it for charity. I'm not quite in the top 50 yet, so I took the charity option, and I decided, I was offered a place by a charity called Concern. It's an Irish charity that works with the world's poorest people, trying to transform their lives, mainly in Africa, but elsewhere in the world. And they ask you to raise a minimum of £2,000. I think there's 7 or 8 people in the Concern team. So on our marathon day, so we'll raise hopefully £16,000 to £18,000 for them. And this year it's going to projects in Niger, mainly for hunger, aimed at hunger, eradicating hunger.
Nice. Now, Matthew earlier told me that he's had some strange reactions to his call from some of the locals who are not, there's maybe not as much of a tradition of, so the state used to take care of all kinds of problems, and what would you tell those people who are, a bit skeptical about sponsoring you, quote unquote, for your marathon?
I can assure you it's going straight to the charity, and it's not going in my pocket, so don't worry about that. And in fact, one of the reasons I picked Concern was they make a point of saying that over 90% of your donation will actually go to help somebody. I looked at some of the other big charities, and it goes down to 70-60% for some of them. Get lost in admin costs and bureaucracy, but this they guarantee that, you know, if you give $1.90, it's actually going to do some good. So that's why I picked this charity. It's easy. Just click through on the links on the Facebook page or whatever it is, and you can make a donation via a bank card. But the local reaction has been quite strange. I don't think there's any culture of doing sponsored events in Hungary at all. So people think that a thumbs up on Facebook is actually the way to go, whereas we want your money, people, not this.
Now, of course, we will put a link to Matthew's, clicking through and just donate right into his pocket, or actually for charity.
Yes, and I have to winter in the Caribbean.
But I'm just curious, Matthew, if you could share your thoughts with us on what's it like, trying to stay fit in Budapest, or what are your thoughts on sort of healthy living and lifestyle in Budapest?
I think it's down to the individual, really. If you want to stay fit and be fit, then everything is here for you. I mean, there's a wonderful running track here. It's free. You don't need to do anything. You don't need to spend a load of money on gear or go to the gym. Just get a pair of running shoes and come out here, do a few laps. That's it, really. Yeah.
What about, I'm just curious, I just ran one, I sort of didn't do so well. I had to stop a couple of times just running one lap. A few years ago, I used to run 1.5 laps. But it's been a while. I've been running that much, and now, of course, we live in Pest. But anyway, what I'm getting around to is, Matthew, I'm curious, could you talk a little bit about your training regimen?
Yes. I mean, it's five running days a week. I do yoga on one day just to stretch the muscles off, and then there's a complete day off on Monday. That's normally following a pretty long run on a Sunday, which the last 2 Sundays has been 18 miles. That's 29 kilometers. Tomorrow it's a half marathon race, and then the week after it's the biggest run of the training program, which is 20 miles, which is 32 kilometers, which is 6 times round this island.
So when you're running the marathon, and obviously, you said you don't sort of run that many kilometers or miles typically, in training, what gets you through? How do you make it?
I mean, it's corny, but the phrase is that the first 20 miles is in your legs and the last 6 is in your head, and that's, from my experience, is proved to be true. I mean, actually, Lance Armstrong said the same thing, and he's a lot fitter than me. He said if marathons were 20 miles long, they'd be easy. I mean, it's enjoyable, the first 20. It's the last 6 that really kill you. And in many ways, the whole training program is geared to getting you through that last 6, because that's when it really starts to hurt. That's when your muscles are really depleted. That's when the cramp kicks in, and your mind starts to go a bit as well. You can't really think straight, and you just want it to end, really. They call it the wall, and that's about 20 miles. And the first time I attempted this distance, I hit it very hard, and I had to basically walk the last 6 miles, walk, run. Determined to finish, but not enjoying it at all. Other ones have been much better since then. Hopefully in London it'll be better again. But I don't know. I mean, I think marathon running appeals to stubborn people. It's not a natural thing to do, really. It is quite difficult. But if you are bloody-minded and stubborn, I'm not saying these are good attributes to have, but if you are, then it makes it a bit easier in the last 5 or 6 miles just to dig in and think, right, okay, I'm going to do this, I'm going to finish it.
All right, congratulations, Marathon Man. And what's the date of your marathon?
April 21st in London, and Berlin is September the 29th, I think.
Get your donations in. Help Matthew Bacci in his quest to help
Concern worldwide.
The concern worldwide. We'll put the link on the Budapest website. Uncle Drew talking to you. I'm gonna go get showered up, and stay tuned. Continue to live the high life in Hungary, and on this freezing pre-spring day, happy spring. Szép tavaszt kívánunk nektek. Ciao.